And welcome to Boost Boerne Business here on Boerne Radio 103.9 FM. We are in downtown Boerne, Texas. You might hear a fire engine going by. Life happens. But I tell you what, if life does happen to you and you need a good lawyer, ladies and gentlemen, across the table for me is my friend Bob Ogle of the Ogle Legal Team. Bob, we're going to talk about all these wills and probates and law and all that kind of stuff, but I just like hanging out with you, my friend. We were just joking before we started here. You made a music reference on the Beatles, and we just picked up on that. You are a music guy.
Well, that's our connection, I think.
Yeah.
I think we both know the same things, and so I'm always striving to introduce you to something you don't know about.
That's not true.
As you are with me as well.
Yeah. Well, you never know what you're going to... I learn things on Boerne Radio. I'll just hear something from someone like you, and I'll say, let's just put it on. And I go, that's cool.
I had a client yesterday who said, I love that radio because I like all kinds of music, and they just play everything, and it will kind of surprise you.
Right.
And it's never dull. And anyway, so I'm not the only one that gets that.
All right. Best concert you ever saw in your life, Bob Ogle?
Probably James Taylor, right?
Was that at the Horizon
Amphitheater? Yeah.
Wow.
We're talking about that. He is just so good. It was just such a pleasant experience, and he's super talented.
And timeless.
Absolutely. His voice sounds the same forever.
That's very, very cool. All right, I appreciate that. And you celebrate with your family. You've got a talented son, too, who's a musician, right?
Yes, he's got all those gifts that I don't have. He keeps trying to teach me how to play the guitar, and I just tell him, buddy, I'm trying, but I don't know. I'm just not going to go like you did. And he sings and he dances and acts and everything else. So he's the creative one in the family.
Very good. Bob, congratulations on over 30 years.
Thank you.
In the law business here, and mostly in Boerne, right? How long?
Yeah, well, I was 6 months in San Antonio, and then I moved to Boerne in April of '89. So then a little more than 30 years.
That's crazy. Wow.
If I had known what I know now, I would have known how dumb that was as a completely fresh attorney to go to a town where I didn't know anybody and hang out my shingle, but people in Boerne were just so nice to me, so welcoming. And it was a very different, small little community back then. And it's just been great. It's been a great place.
Is the honeymoon still on then, Bob?
Yeah.
Or are you that guy that goes, oh, here they come? No further questions. You're witness.
I'm just glad they let me in. That's all I can say.
Well, that's cool. You made a lot of great friends. You're in the community a lot. You still playing pickleball? How are your knees doing?
Still playing pickleball. Knees are good. Knees are better when you play pickleball. I'll just tell you that. You got to move those things for them to hold up on you.
All right.
So that's just word to the wise.
Put a little oil on there and keep them squeaky clean.
Yep.
Oh, good for you. Well, again, I just enjoy hanging out with you and catching up. But you are in the business, though, of helping families at any stage in their life.
Yes, sir.
But more specifically, your specialty is the one that you helped out the Wileys. I say this last time. We're grateful that you were the guy who got our house in order when it came to taking care of our wills for our family.
Well, thank you. And thank you for trusting me with that. You know, it's a big thing to do that. And it's a lot to be trusted with that. And that's not lost on me. Mm-hmm. And so when I visit with people, I usually take a long time. I'll ask questions. I don't know why I'm asking, but I kind of want to get the lay of the land and what they value and what their interests are and what they really want to happen. And so I really enjoy doing it. It's also something you can feel good about as a lawyer. A lot of what lawyers do is unsavory. It's not something you wouldn't go around town encouraging people to get divorced, obviously.
Right.
But encouraging people to do their wills is something that you can stand behind because everybody needs one. Mm-hmm. Everybody needs their estate plan done. And it's never a good time to do it, and nobody ever really wants to do it. Nobody wants to spend the money on it. And so you try to do it in a way that they're only going to have to do it once, and they'll be covered. And I've been around so long that I've seen the other side of that, where a person passes away, and I've seen the chaos and the nightmares that can result when you don't take care of your house. And people that work really hard and build businesses and then don't do succession planning and make provisions for what happens when they pass.
Yeah. Again, to your point, no one wants to deal with it. You're talking about death, and I'm supposed to live forever, but no, you have to take care of it because, like you said, if you don't, we have Sam Cooke, John Denver, Aretha Franklin, bad things happen. In your experience, you do your wills. Like my wife and I had our wills done after we first got married and together, and then we had kids, and so we tweaked it a little bit more. In our experience, we had to change our will a couple of times along the way. The last time with you, my friend. What's the rhythm on updating your will?
Well, you should probably revisit it periodically. Mm-hmm. You know, I frequently probate wills that are 30 years old, even older, and they're fine. When you do a will properly, you can add for contingencies and address the situations that might happen in the future in the will itself so that you don't have to change it if things change. But Generally, when you have kids, it's a really good idea to do a will. You can put in your will, you can have 2 kids and a third one on the way, and you can put in your will, I include all my unborn kids. And I'm just saying, I hope the youngest one never sees this, because
Right.
you control for contingencies when your kids are younger. And then as they get older, things just get simplified. So every 5 or 10 years, probably look at your will. If there's a big change, if someone passes away or someone's remarried or you lose a family member, it's probably not a bad idea to just go by a lawyer and have them look at it and see if there's anything that needs to be modified.
Well, the lawyer you need to call is Bob Ogle with the Ogle Legal Team. What's the number, Bob? 830-249-9358, the Ogle Legal Team, oglelegalteam.com. And so what happens when I call that number?
When you call that number, you'll get my assistant, and she'll ask you what your basic interests are. She will fill out a sheet that goes to me, set you up to come in, and you'll have a consult. Everything starts with a consult. So you need to know whether or not you even need to do anything. And so you'll have an hour or so that we'll visit, and I can tell you your wills are fine or you need wills. If you have $100 million, I will refer you to the appropriate party. And so then I will take your information and I'll draft the wills and you'll come back and sign them. So usually when you contact the office after you've had a consult, we schedule you for your time to sign because I don't want to sit on those things.
Right.
So we'll try to have people come in within a couple of weeks to sign those wills.
Excellent. Is there any difference? You said you started in San Antonio and you came to Kendall County. Is there any difference in, Texas, the advantages of doing something in Texas versus Kendall County and Bexar County?
Right. Well, if you do a will in Texas, it's valid in Texas. So It doesn't matter if you're in the Panhandle of the Gulf Coast or wherever. If you move around within Texas, your will is going to be valid because it's going to be valid under the Texas laws. If you move here from another state, you probably need to have a lawyer look at it to make sure that it complies with requirements because Texas has some pretty specific requirements that make things a lot easier. And so you want to take advantage of those. But as far as Bexar versus Kendall, I'm a Kendall guy all the way, but the probate procedures are a little bit different when someone dies in Bexar and Kendall, but they're also very much the same and very much straightforward.
And you've been here long enough. You've seen a lot of change in the courts here in Kendall County, right?
Yeah, we're getting a second district court. We have Judge Shane Stolarczyk as a county judge who does the probates now and does a really good job. And so we're growing.
Yeah.
We're growing, and the court system is growing as well.
And all these people that are moving from out of state, and you're thinking, I guess I better update my will and make sure it sniffs well in Texas.
That's right.
Call Bob.
That's right.
Bob Ogle. The number again is 830-249-9358. What do I need to bring to the table, or what mistakes might people make?
Basically, you don't need to bring anything, but you need to think about what you have in mind. So a basic estate planning requires you to know a couple of things. The first thing is, who are the people that you're going to trust to take care of things when you can't or when you're gone? And that's an executor of your will and a power of attorney to take care of your business for you. Then you need to think about where you want your estate to go. I get a lot of people that come in and they know everything, but they're not sure. They don't have their family. They don't have the family they used to have. So we talk about charitable organizations and other things that you can do to try to make a legacy. But that's really it. You just need to think about what you want to happen when you're gone, what you want your kids' lives to be like, and who are the people that you trust to do things like that.
Yeah. I wanted you to brag again. I love when you talk about Bernie and the kind of the old days in Main Street, because you actually used to office right here right next to us.
Yeah, I used to office in the building where the chamber is.
Yeah.
And it was a little commercial building that had several offices in it and a main switchboard. And, it was right next to where the courthouse. It was very convenient.
Sarah, get me Bob Ogle.
I laugh about how similar my phone number is to the courthouse phone number. And sometimes I'll dial the wrong number by accident when I'm trying to dial the courthouse or myself.
Wow. That's funny.
But it was really fun. Yeah, Bernie was, Main Street was pretty empty. The storefronts were empty and you could count the cars going by, and it was like Mayberry.
Yeah.
And then they started having the Aubin concerts, and it really was Mayberry.
Yeah.
Kids marching around with their flags and the Oompa band playing.
And we still experience that, though. They're still doing it.
Yeah.
Still having parades down the Main Street there. Homecoming parade. What town does that still?
I don't know. It's a big deal. I was in my office at noon on the day of the homecoming parade, and people were already putting their chairs out and tying them to telephone posts just to make sure their chairs didn't get moved. So it's pretty serious business, the homecoming parade.
They're not worried about them getting stolen. They just don't want them to move.
They don't want them to be moved north or south.
I've seen like Yeti coolers out on the curb, and they come back 2 hours later and it's still there. Come on, man. I don't know.
Nobody's taking anything.
Well, if someone takes your gear, call Bob Ogle. We'll see him downtown. Anything else, Bob, that you want our listeners to know?
No, just it's not something, as I said, you want to think about. But the thing is, when you do it, you get it done, put it on paper, you file it away, and you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you got to, instead of taking that trip, you got to get your estate planning done. So that's a tough call to make, but it's really important. It makes a huge difference to you in your life, and it's something everybody should have. And so I'm pretty much a broken record about that.
Well, I'm going to be a broken record and say, we used you. You made it so easy. We have the peace of mind. Again, it was not hard. You just knock it out and it's done. And you have the peace of mind knowing that my kids are taken care of, or my wife's taken care of, whatever that looks like. And it's Bob Ogle with the Ogle Legal Team, 830-249-9358. Website, OgleLegalTeam.com. And I say thank you, Bob. Thank you so much, man. Thanks for being a great friend of Boerne Radio.
Thanks, Baron.
And thank you for listening to Boerne Radio, 103.9 FM.